然后开始啊
Probably in 2025, we at Meta are going to have an AI
probably in 2025, our Meta，就说是从这个，2025年，就是 Facebook 中
that can effectively be a sort of mid-level engineer that can write code.
AI 可以成为一个 middle level，就是中等的这样的，水平来写代码。
that we can't even imagine. Well, I guess we'll have to see. But more and more of the code is going to be written by AI, which means we also need people to review the code. Is that also going to be AI?
嗯，我这一着急啥也没看清了，咱们就一直看完吧。
And if AI is writing so much code, humans are going to be the bottleneck if we're the reviewers. So entire systems are going to have to be built to handle this new paradigm. And then I
说的是这个，AI 要写代码了以后哈，人来这个审查代码，但是人可能就会变成这个瓶颈。
also completely agree that this is going to complement humans, not replace humans. Humans in the future, and even
我说这个是 AI 是将来会加强人类，而并不是什么取代人类。
now, we're just going to be so much more efficient, so much more productive. And I believe rather
我们将会变得如此的，就是更加的高效，什么之类的。
than all of these people being out of work, a much more likely scenario is we're going to have so much more productivity. One of the best
嗯，这说的好像是干的，就是这个 AI 干的活多了，这个很多的这个人是不是就闲了？
ways to increase visibility to your brand, your business, whatever, is to write blog posts, long articles, deep dives. I know it takes a lot of time. Trust me, I do it myself. But there is an easier way. So I want to thank our partner on this video, SEO Writing. This is a one-click tool
我是
for
广
generating
告，广告的
I don't know
路过。
if this was 100 or 150 years ago, but it was like at some point not too far along in the grand scheme of things. Like the vast majority of people in society were farmers, right? Because they kind of needed to be in order to create enough food for everyone to survive. And then we turned that into like an industrial process, and now it's like
a lot of what happens at
这有点
because
过
they
了。
have like this
这说的是就这个扎克伯格说的是什么？以前啊，可能很多人都在地里面干活儿，然后这什么工业化来了。
unimaginable leverage from having a lot more technology.
All right, so Zuckerberg obviously has a very optimistic view of the future. I do as well. I really do agree with a lot of what he's saying. And right now, bringing it back to software and software engineers, this is kind of the process we're going through right now. What happens when all of a sudden a software engineer can write 10, 100, 1,000 times more software than they could before? Does that mean that they have less work, or does that mean that they produce much more? I actually think it's the latter. And this shows itself with technology trends as well. Typically, as a technology gets cheaper, faster, more efficient, you're going to go a little bit deeper with technology.
这说的就是，人被加强了以后，有两个，选项，一个就是，人那个变得更闲了，因为机器帮你写代码嘛，人变更闲。第二个是说是人可以产出更多的软件，他认为是第二个选项。
Trends as well. Typically, as a technology gets cheaper, faster, more efficient, you might logically think that a company that is buying that technology would need to buy less. But here's the thing, it's actually the opposite. As technology becomes cheaper, companies and people tend to buy a lot more of it. That's because as the unit economics of a piece of technology decrease, the number of use cases that it can be applied to in a positive
所以说的是，当这个软件不会越来越贵，当这个软件这个产出越来越多的时候， 人们会买越来越多的软件。
ROI way actually increases. And so it's a really cool phenomenon that happens. And I do agree with that. But it's not all going to be rosy, and it's not going to be a very clean transition to this future. There are going to be people getting laid off. There is going to be this really high friction period in which we're trying to figure out what it looks like. And here's an example of that. There was an article just from a couple weeks ago. Salesforce will hire no more software engineers in 2025, says Mark Benioff, the CEO.
还有说是这种转变不是那么的，不是那么的，就是简单。例如这个 Salesforce 好像说他不会再雇佣新的这个程序员了。
And the reason? Because they're seeing significant productivity boost from AI. So because of AI, they're
他说这个原因就是啥？这个Salesforce 说，这个 AI 这个 significant 明显的，这个什么增加了这个生产量、生产率，
not going to hire as many engineers.
所以他们
And
不
of
再
course,
雇佣
that's kind of
新
the
的。
counterexample to what Mark Zuckerberg is saying. Now, before I give you my thoughts, let me read a couple other
这是一个
segments from this
相反的一
article.
个
And
结
I'll
果。
drop this article in the description below. So, 30% productivity boost from AI. In a wide-ranging
30%
conversation with the venture
生产率
capitalist, Mark outlined
增
the
加，
reasons why his
从
company
这个
decided to
从这个
implement
AI
the hiring freeze. When asked if Salesforce would have more or fewer employees in 5 years' time, he said he thinks the company will probably be larger. But he went on to say, we're not adding any more software engineers next year because we have increased the productivity this year with Agentforce and with other AI
下一年
technology that
一
we're
个程序
using
员都
for
不会雇了，
engineering teams by more than
一个多余的程序
30%.
员
And
都
this
不
is
会
not
雇，
the
因为
first
他们
company to come out and
现
say
在
something like this. I
现
forget
在
the
的
name
产
of
量
it, but
已
there
经
was a
增加
customer
了。
service company that just came out and said, well, we actually are able to cut our team because AI is helping us so much, to the
还有
point where our
还有那
engineering
个
velocity is
大财
incredible. I can't believe what we're achieving in engineering. Now, obviously, he's a genius marketer, and this is all just marketing talk and trying to push his stock and his company, but he really did do a hiring freeze. And then we will have less support engineers next year because we have an agentic layer. Again, pushing agent force, but if it's working, it's working. We will have more salespeople next year because we really need to explain to people exactly the value that we can achieve with AI. So we will probably add another 1,000 to 2,000 salespeople in the short
都
term,
会
which
雇
is
佣
hilarious
1000
because
到
they're
2000
adding
个销
human
售。
salespeople to sell AI that will take other people's jobs. It's, again, very murky. So once again, the entire software industry
然后
is
销售来
changing.
卖他们
I've
的产
covered
品来
opinions from Linus
取代更多
Torvalds.
的
I've
人
covered
呢。
opinions from Satya Nadella, Mark Zuckerberg, Mark Benioff. There's no denying it. Things are changing, and they're changing rapidly. So if you're not already using AI to code, I really encourage you to do so. Play around with tools.
咱们看看这上面说的。
EPI 1 to 12 minus 2025. Zuckerberg's T9G statement. AI will write MOST software soon. 80 true. They
就是 Zuckerberg 就扎克伯格 stunning 惊人的这个语句，我们学这个新词儿 stunning 就是这个闪闪发亮的，这是惊人的。AI will write most software soon。AI 将写 most 大部分、大多数的软件，很快啊，很快就是大部分软件都是 AI 写的了。这句话就说，再说啥？
80 true. They are coming for our jobs. No, not agents. Do get it yet?
They are
80
coming,
true.
they are coming for our job。他们他们来就取代我们，夺走我们的职位。jobs 是职位。No more，no not agent。No, not agent，不是这个带 agent。Do you get it yet？就说是，就是有两种情况，一种是啥叫 agent，agent 是啥东西？agent 相当于是个工具，来帮助这个程序员或者是人来解决问题，是一个工具，它不会取代人，它就相当于给你了一把刀一样的，让你能够，就是干活干得更快啊，干得更有效率。他上说 no not agent，他不是一个 agent，他是来 come for our job，就是说要取代你。这个就说是这扎克伯格说啥？扎克伯格是说的是大部分的软件就马上就要 AI 写的了。反正这个就是两个观点，第一个说是 AI 哈，它是会帮助人让产生更多的生产率啊，就说是你原来可能只能生产10个，现在你生产100个、1000个， 这样的话呢，成本那个就可以降低价格啊，什么销售量就会更大。他第二说是不是这样子的？就 AI 不是说是帮你来，AI 不是个工具，AI 就把你取代了，说的是这样。好，我们今天就学到这。